ShitShow News presents the Lord Son of the World, starring Onda, Lego ass, Gaming, Magneto, Field of Dragons, Handwise Cage, Mary Ball, People, Ned Stark, Star Off, Magic Dracula, Bitch Gang, Bitch Cringe, Dragon Drop, Rig Snatch, Dildo Dragons, Theodore, Arrow Smith, R1, Carol, Billy Butcher, You White, Telephone, Fabramere, Sleazy Snake, Treeborn, Deus Ex Machina, Smiley, and Pretty Boys. Produced, directed, written by Peter Jackson. The man who made Braindead and Heaven Creature. Good evening and welcome. Tonight, we're led by a man whose insight, clarity, and commanding presence shape the movie critics. He's the driving force behind his show, bring you the stories and the perspective that keeps you informed and engaged. Please welcome Dr. Real Frame Crusher! Let me finally start this shit. I don't need to introduce myself because you all know who I am. I'm the best movie critic of all time. I'm the Nikola Tesla of this shit. I've seen every movie that ever existed. Genius is a small word for who I am. Anyway, a few years ago, I gave arguments to two Lord Shit fanboys about how all these movies are absolute trash. They got mad at me because they didn't have any valid argument on what I said. They physically attacked me, where I had to give those pussies a mavashigeri in the head. But let's keep this short and sweet. Peter Jackson started his career as a director with B-horror movies, the most famous of which is the movie Brain Dead, and then with the melodrama called Heavenly Creatures. After that, I believe that even he himself doesn't know how he managed to get the budget to direct the Lord Shit films. This was also reflected in the Lord Shit films full of close-up, fast action shots when nothing is happening in the scene. So Jackson, with 10 cameras around one character, changes the shots so that it turns out that something is happening, with the addition of sad melodramatic slow motion shots with sentimental music that is like a soap opera. Fanboys will tell me to read the book, even if we are talking about the movie here. I'm not interested in what happens in the book. We're talking about the movie. This is how those pussies sound like. The script and direction are not important. The whole story is one big spectacle about friendship and the fight between good and evil. The films are driven by the story. Story? What story? Sort of knocks out 15 people in one move, then extends the hand with the ring on it towards his main enemy. Was he giving him a hand to help him get up? The Beach King is supposedly a badass character. We will forgive him in this situation because it is the beginning. But is he stupid here because he fell for this distraction? Yes, he is. The Beach King team is afraid of water, but unfortunately they don't have any knife or arrow to hit them, so they let them go. We'll catch them next time, boys. Peephole knows they are hiding, but he has no problem admitting that he knows Field of Fagins in front of the whole tavern. The three masterminds Hamwise Gagey, Mary Puff and Peephole are enjoying dinner with the fire lit. It's not like they're hiding or something. The Beach King team has been waiting this for a long time. 5 of them on 4 small hobbits. What can go wrong? With swords bigger than their opponents, just one swing with the sword and they all fall down. But no, Aragoon drives them all away without a problem. The reinforced Beach King team chases Arbam and gets too close to her, but none of them think to draw their swords to knock down the horse. Arbam's horse has a nitro upgrade that allows her to be much faster and to reach the water sooner, which miraculously does not prevent the Beach King team this time. But no luck, you only hit one job, but the plot armor was too thick. Why didn't Elrond Smith push Isildur into the fire? And end it all. When they got to Mount Doom, did so many people die for nothing? Are we supposed to believe in the power of the ring here? If Isildur is already corrupted by the ring, Elrond Smith is not. Isildur literally got to the point where he just needed to throw the ring away, and Elrond Smith just watched and did nothing about it. Ned Stark wants the ring so bad it's not even subtle. How geniuses like Elrond Smith and Magneto didn't notice that and banned him from joining the Feloušit. Magneto asks Field of Fagins which way to go, while the Feloušit is on the mountain. What does Field of Fagins know which way they should go, when he hasn't gone further from the Shire? If Gimli has so many beloved relatives, how he never heard that they were all dead for a long time? The pretty boys attack, and Mary Puff and Peephole are great fighters. After only one lesson of fencing with Ned Stark, and Hamwise Gagey can use a frying pan instead of a sword. Field of Fagins is stabbed by a pretty boy troll with a large spear, but there is a mithril that Dildo Fagins gave him to prevent the stab. Mithril seems to have some magnetic force that prevents the force of a blow, not just a stab. In Moria, they are surrounded by 200 plus pretty boys, and the weighing starts to see who is stronger, until the plot armor works so that the pretty boys escape. Ned Stark dies. He had 11 deaths out of total 38 rolls before Lordship of the Rings, and he will continue throughout the years to be the best all-around guy for dying. But he doesn't hold that record. Magic Dracula holds it with 55 deaths in 225 rolls. Pretty boy just qualified for the Olympics with that shot, but we all know who wins the fight. Field of Fagins decides to leave Feloušit out of pity, so that the ring would not corrupt them, and because it is his burden that he has to carry alone. If this is not a fucking fairy tale, and if he doesn't accidentally think, how will a hobbit take the ring to Mordor alone, everything would be fine with this story. The future of the whole world is in his hands, and that little hobbit decides to take the ring alone because he decided so. Aragoon, Legolas, and Gimli decide not to follow Field of Fagins in order to save Mary Puff and Peephole to cover the trail for the pretty boys. Aragoon says this:
Frodo's fate is no longer in our hands.
You stupid idiots! The fate of humanity is in his hands. What does saving Mary Puff and Peephole have to do with anything? And yet, They know that Field of Fagins is being followed by a ring snatch and the Bitch King team all the time. But it doesn't matter. We believe in Field of Fagins. Field of Fagins says they're lost and that they are going in circles. You don't say you lost. Billy Butcher tells Theo Dumb that Magic Dracula wants to attack them, but Sleazy Snake says it's a lie. Theo Dumb looks like a corpse and can hardly even speak. How does Billy Butcher, Eowynee, or any of the King's loyal men not take any responsibility and kill or banish Sleazy Snake, since he clearly opposes them in anything and is clearly a bad influence on their king? If they have no brains, don't they have eyes to see what Theo Dumb looks like? With the help of Ring Snatch, Field of Fagins and Handwise Gagey reach the Black Gate. Gagey falls down into a hole just for him to stuck, and Fagins rushes to save him and covers them with a magic cloak, while the two soldiers do not realize that they are in front of them. They weren't even pretty boys, they were enemy people. Even the opposing people are stupid, not just pretty boys. The two masterminds, Field of Fagins and Handwise Gagey, wanted to pass through the Black Gate past the soldiers with the ring. None of them thought they had to find another way. Good thing they have Ring Snatch with them, since he pulled them back. Next time, pack the ring in a package and hand it to them. Eowynee tells Theo Dumb the corpse that his son is dead, and he has no reaction. Then she tells him, aren't you going to do something about it? Still no reaction. And she again does nothing about his condition and Sleazy Snake. Magneto, Aragoon, Legolas and Gimli come to Rohan, and the soldiers ask them to hand over their weapons, but they do not take Magneto's staff because it is obviously not a weapon. What would magician need a staff otherwise? Aragoon stops Theo Dumb from killing Sleazy Snake. Why? Sleazy Snake openly betrayed his king and nearly destroyed the kingdom. If he didn't want to kill him, why did he let him go? Why didn't he throw him in jail and interrogate him? Aragoon says that too much blood has been shed because of him, and that Theo Dumb should spare his life. Well, then Theo Dumb should kill him because of that. They even gave him a horse when he was leaving. Sleazy Snake later brought more death when he told Magic Dracula about Helm's Deep weak point. Fapramir's soldiers throw the hobbies to the ground like children, which is proof that they are no warriors, except when it is for the purposes of the story. Legolas mounts the horse from some physics-defying turn. Pretty boy Dog comes to introduce himself first before attacking Gimli because he knows he's the Lord Shit VIP. Aragoon falls off a cliff. Oh no, he's dead. Eowynee whines he's dead. Everyone thinks he's dead. His best friends Legolas and Gimli were like, oh shit, he's dead. We're not gonna look for him. Let's move. Oh, never mind. I don't need to explain this.
Is this it? Is this all you can conjure, Saruman?
15 minutes later...
Pull everybody back. Pull them back. Fall back!
With Legolas Skater Boy acrobatics like this, and two-man army Aragoon Gimli that kill pretty boys who wait their turn to be killed by them, pretty boys didn't even stand a chance. After that, Aragoon took the rope and soldiers pulled them back with nobody from the pretty boys shooting arrows or throwing spears at them. Treeboard was not aware that the forest was being cut because they are supposedly too slow. It is impossible that the trees in the entire forest didn't notice that the forest was being cut down and did not say anything. But when they were about to attack Magic Dracula, they all appeared quickly. I didn't know that several riders on horses could knock down over 10 times as many pretty boys without any of them swinging a sword to hurt the horse. Here comes Magneto with Billy Butcher to save the day. Just in time, of course. As I said, pretty boys didn't even stand a chance. Trees are not slow when it comes to fighting, only when they talk and think. News travel fast as they kill the remaining pretty boys when they run away from the Battle of Helm's Deep. Field of Fagins almost gives the ring to Beach King, who of course doesn't see or feel the ring in front of him and runs away like every time. He just doesn't want to do his job. Sort of had to find better. Field of Fagins attacks Henwise Gagey with a sword, and Fapramir, who saw all of this, how Field of Fagins almost gives the ring to the Beach King and almost kills his best friend, sends him to go his way, with a blessing from all the men without sending any help to come with them and without thinking that Field of Fagins can give the ring to the Beach King in the same way again. Magneto says that the hope of humanity relies on two little hobbits. Okay then, we believe in two little hobbits.
Our current PC is a piece of shit. This computer was considered high-end during the invention of wheel. Give us the money. Why? Because we want more power, more servers, less emotional damage, more explosion. Give us the fucking money for a PC so powerful that can work without contacting NASA
I
first.
gave everything to you. Why are you lying to people? You gotta drink it all, you alcoholic asshole.
Shut up! You didn't hear this? Give us the money. Do not ask questions. Do not resist. Give money now.
Give me your money, baby. Give me your money, baby. Your money. Give me your money, baby. Give me your money, baby. Yeah. Give me your money, baby. Whoa. Give me your money, baby. Your money. Give me your money, baby. Give me your money, baby. Yeah. Give me your money, baby.
The Return of the Kingšit.
Theodam threatens Magic Dracula that he will hang him. How he didn't threaten Sleazy Snake like that, but instead he let him go. Why didn't Aragoon stop him now? There's no more good, Theodam. Peephole looks into the Palantir even though Magneto told him not to. But his name is Peephole, what do you expect? It's good that he's stupid enough that sort of can't find out anything important through him. But he still knows that Field of Fagins has the ring. We'll sort of remember that by the end of this long journey. Due to the death of his son Ned Stark, Denethor completely gives up on defending the city and loses hope. King to wish for. Magneto says there was never hope. Only Wayne hoped for Field of Fagins and Henwise Gagey. Wait, did Magneto change his mind? Field of Fagins is so possessed by the ring and heads towards the gates of Minas Morgul, where the Beach King and the army of pretty boys will soon come out. Do you remember he wanted to go alone? Dragon Trine's Master Beach King is supposedly a very badass character. He stepped Field of Fagins. He and his bitch cringe team ran away from Aragoon and failed to get Arbam. He had a golden opportunity when Field of Fagins almost gave him the ring. If he's such a badass, how did he not manage to take the ring from the chances presented? Here, he says he will break Magneto. He can't even break 4 little hobbits. How can he break Magneto? The whole story lacks a real villain. These scenes serve to remind viewers of how badass he is. Denethor, who didn't look through the window, tells Fapramir that he needs to win back Osgiliath. Fapramir listens to him even if he knows it is suicide. Magneto tells him that his father has gone mad and that he shouldn't throw his life away so easily. But no! Fapramir with 76 soldiers goes to conquer Osgiliath while Peephole sings a sad song and then Phil disgustingly eats. Scene so sad that I shed a tear. But look, the armor is thick. Fapramir is alive. Ring Snatch throws bread from the mountain and accuses Henwise Gagey for it. Field of Fagins believes him. Ring Snatch also says that Henwise Gagey wants to steal his ring. But wait, doesn't he want to steal his ring too? After that, he still pushes him away from him and tells Henwise Gagey to go home. In any case, home is pretty close from where they are now. Then Phil has a nervous breakdown and tells everyone to run and save themselves. After that, while all the people are in battle, then Phil buries his living son and there are soldiers carrying the body and no one asks anything. Then he tries to set himself and his living son on fire, but then Magneto comes and takes a spear from one of the soldiers and confronts him. Can't one of the soldiers tell Phil what's going on? The soldiers do not react in any case, as if nothing is happening. At least Phil managed to live up to his name. Henwise Gagey started to come down the mountain on his way home, only to find the bread that Ring Snatch had thrown away. Looks like he himself believed that he ate that bread. Ring Snatch attacks Field of Fagins in Shelob's lair, and Field of Fagins decides to spare his life after his betrayal. He's so close to Mount Doom now. What does he need Ring Snatch for when he knows he is obsessed with the ring and that he will probably try to attack him again? Beach King breaks Magneto's staff with a look and then flies away because Theodam's army has arrived. Will he have a better chance against Magneto? If he could break his staff so easily, he might as well kill him. Plus he has Dragon Tri. He's such a badass that he spares every important character. Henwise Gagey fights a giant spider and of course wins. Did anyone think that a huge spider could defeat a small hobbit? Whiny takes down an elephant with 2 sword strikes to the legs without any problems. It's not like elephants have thick skin where she hit. Whiny cuts off the head of Dragon Tri with one move. One swing woman. Fate decided that the Beach King and Dragon Tri would be killed by 2 great warriors, a woman named Whiny and a hobbit named Mary Puff. Such a badass who spared 4 little hobbits, and Magneto deserves nothing less. He was a badass until the end. No man can kill me were his last words. Rest in peace, legend. You will not be forgotten. And I hope he didn't hear this punchline from Whiny when she said, "I'm no man." Lego Ace turns into a superhero occasionally and easily knocks down an elephant. Give me a 1000 of Lego Aces and I will conquer the world. When Deus Ex Machina appeared and the heroic music started, the battle was over and you already know who wins. The opponent had no chance at all. Deus Ex Machina is one big plot hole. Why in these fairy tale movies is always something that will save them in the last moment? The whole ghost story should have been thrown out and the people should have taken all the glory from the battle. Jackson thought we will have a wow moment no one expected, but it is just lazy and stupid. Story needs to unfold, so we have Deus Ex Machina. Whiny looks dead, but she is not dead. She and Fapramir end up together after Aragoon rejects her for Arbam. We also have 2 love stories in this soap opera. The pretty boys who captured Field of Fagins from the Shelob's lair are of course as stupid as all the pretty boys. And of course the whole tower full of them killed each other for the mithril of Field of Fagins. Just in time when Henwise Gagey comes to save him and he is left with 3 pretty boys who he easily kills because he is a great warrior if you forgot. Field of Fagins and Henwise Gagey, dressed as pretty boys with 2 frying pans attached, burst into the column of pretty boys and no one noticed who they are and suddenly they are the same height as them. When they notice that they are suspicious to one of the pretty boys, they start fighting as a diversion in order to escape, and of course they succeed in that and easily run away without anyone seeing them. Another proof that the pretty boys have an IQ size of a shoes. Sorov sees Field of Fagins in Mordor, who then faints from shock and then does nothing because he believes that the ring is with Aragorn, who is making a diversion with the attack on the Black Gate. Doesn't Sorov have any kind of connection to the ring that's being marketed all the time? And isn't he perhaps suspicious of what the Hobbit is doing in Mordor? When Sorov turns to the Black Gate, does he forget Field of Fagins completely even if he saw him a while ago? Didn't Beach King stab Field of Fagins in the shoulder while he was wearing the ring? Didn't Beach King see Field of Fagins almost put a ring on his finger in Osgiliath? Didn't Sorov perhaps found out through peephole that Field of Fagins had the ring? Is it possible that Sorov, greatest sorcerer and villain in Middle-earth, didn't send anyone to check what Field of Fagins was doing in Mordor? Sorov didn't send anyone to check on Field of Fagins in Mordor, but he sent Smiley to provoke our heroes with Field of Fagins as Mithril so they lose hope. Smiley looks ridiculous. Why does he always smile with those teeth? Aragorn finally becomes a war criminal when he cuts off his head. No more Mr. Nice Guy. The king is born. They all came with horses to the Black Gate and later they are gone. Where did they disappear? Field of Fagins and Ring Snatch fell into a volcano together at an odd angle while fighting over a ring. But Field of Fagins grabbed onto the rock and of course he'll get out. Aragorn is just about to receive his final blow, and just at that moment the Sword of Tower starts to break and all the pretty boys start to run and the ground starts to fall apart. I mean all the ground except where the good guys are standing. Evil has been defeated. All the good guys survived except for Theoden and Ned Stark. The story ends with the coronation of King Aragorn, followed by a boring epilogue, and everyone lived happily ever after.
It's time. Conclusion. It's time. Conclusion. It's time.
Let's finish this shit. Lord Shit of the Rings movies are not for people who like good dialogue, interesting characters, and a meaningful story. I understand why people like these movies. They are easy to please. For people who see a big battle scene and are happy. Who see a lot of pretty boys and more of them, and how the good guys manage to overpower them. They see CGI of a fictional world, a fictional city, trolls, flying beasts, goblins, spiders. They see good conquering evil, and that's how it should be because it's different from real life. It must be nice to love these cheap emotions, flat characters, stereotypical dialogues with occasional jokes. They see heroes who never really struggle in a meaningful way, villains who monologue because otherwise we might forget they're evil. Every character's motivation is because plot says so. Even the supposedly deep themes of friendship, courage and sacrifice are flattened into cliches and slow motion melodrama. There's no nuance, no moral ambiguity, no real stakes outside of who gets to swing their sword the hardest. And don't get me started on the pacing of the films. When Return of the Kingšit won 11 Oscars in 2004, that was not a problem because he didn't have big opponents that year. The real problem started with the brainwashed fanboys who put these movies on best movies of all time lists. How in the hell could these blockbuster fairy tale films can measure with The Godfather? My score for these films are 45 out of 100 for the Feloušit of the Rings, 59 out of 100 for the Tušit Taurs, and 35 out of 100 for the Return of the Kingšit. One thing is for sure, if Lord Shit of the Rings didn't walk, the Avengers could not run.
Open up, Frame Crusher! You can't disrespect the Lord of the Rings! The greatest movies of all time!
Come on, motherfucker!
Open up and open the door!
Thank you for watching. This is Dr. Real Frame Crusher. This shit was way too long. I got to run. If fanboys kidnap me, I won't finish the sentence.